Hello. This is Antje from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching our videos. This time, I've put together a summary on how to navigate the Mono Blue Painter matchup when playing 4-color Doomsday, as well as considerations for sideboarding. There's also a link to the pile breakdown video in the description, so feel free to check it out. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. It's a bit weak, but I have 2 counter spells and can start with Tamio, Inquisitive Student on turn 1, so I'll keep this hand. I'll counter it with Force of Will. Since I'm on the 4-color version, the combo speed is slower than usual. Falling behind on card advantage could easily lead to a loss, so I decided to counter it. I held on to Street Wraith because I want to use it when flipping Tamio. I'll dig for Doomsday. I stacked the cards in the order: Thassa's Oracle, Lotus Petal. I'm going all in. From here, I'll build up the mana I need for the combo. Right now my opponent has 0 cards in hand, but I expect them to refill it soon with cards like Stock Up or Thoughtcast. I definitely want to play around counter spells, so I'm including Cavern of Souls in the pile. There's also a red splash variant of Mono Blue Painter, and that version sometimes includes Pyroblast. It's unclear whether they're running Pyroblast in the main board, but since Pyroblast can also function as removal, I'll fill the remaining slots in the pile with cards that help empty it out. I built the pile with the goal of ending the game before my opponent can start gaining value off Emery. I built the pile in the order: Thassa's Oracle, Edge of Autumn, Cavern of Souls, Ponder, Consider. I'll start drawing through the pile with a pile opener. The Surveil effect put the card into the graveyard. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. Here's what I actually sideboarded in and out during the match. At first, I thought they'd be using the graveyard more, so I brought in Nihil Spellbomb, but after checking more closely, it seems like it might not be necessary. Feel free to use this example in your own matches. First, let's take a look at how Mono Blue Painter operates. The deck is fundamentally built to generate steady card advantage. They play Emery, Lurker of the Loch, onto the battlefield, and combine her with draw-based cards like Mishra's Bauble to gradually build up card advantage. They use cards like Thoughtcast and Stock Up, using the One Ring and similar cards to quickly refill their hand, widen the card advantage gap, and then look for the right moment to close out the game with the Painter combo. Now, let's get into the main topic. Here are the cards in Mono Blue Painter that can impact Doomsday. First, there are a variety of counterspells like Force of Will, Flusterstorm, Metallic Rebuke, and Force of Negation. To fight back against their counterspells, I'll bring in Force of Negation. In exchange, I'll take out all copies of Daze. That's because the opponent uses cards like Lotus Petal and Ancient Tomb, which make Daze lose its effectiveness quickly. Next, there are cards like Sink into Stupor and Consign to Memory. My game plan usually involves setting up a combo win with Teferi, Time Reveler alongside these cards. If Teferi is on the battlefield, I can ignore Consign to Memory and still secure the win. If I go for the combo without Teferi, it's going to be tough if they're holding Consign to Memory, especially since this list doesn't include any hand disruption. Finally, we have Disruptor Flute. To counter this, I include Prismatic Ending. Additionally, I include Swords to Plowshares. This is because it can deal with cards like Emery, Lurker of the Loch, and Painter's Servant. In exchange, I remove Edge of Autumn and Lion's Eye Diamond. This is because our combo isn't particularly fast, so the game plan shifts toward controlling the opponent while setting up our combo. I removed these cards to prioritize including disruption spells. The mana base is a bit concerning, but since we have both draw spells and disruption, we decide to keep. First, I cast Brainstorm to see what I draw. I'll look at the cards I draw and decide whether to let Emery resolve or counter her. Since the draws were pretty underwhelming, I felt that going for it gave me a better chance than waiting. I'm going all in. From here, with Brainstorm, I put Thassa's Oracle on top followed by Doomsday, but since I can't cast the second card, I should have put Thassa's Oracle on top instead. My opponent has 2 cards left in hand. I want to close out the game before Emery starts generating too much value. The current threats are Disruptor Flute and Consign to Memory. I can't build a pile that plays around both, so I need to construct one that focuses on just one of them. Since this list doesn't run any discard spells, playing around Consign to Memory would require 2 lands and Teferi Time Reveler. Also, since Emery is on the battlefield, simply countering Disruptor Flute isn't enough, it can just be brought back from the graveyard. Since landing Teferi isn't realistic here, I decide to play around Disruptor Flute instead by including Tundra and Prismatic Ending in the pile. Since my opponent likely isn't running any removal, I place Thassa's Oracle as the 3rd card and include Cavern of Souls in the pile. I built the pile in the following order: Prismatic Ending, Tundra, Thassa's Oracle, Cavern of Souls, Ponder. Looking back, Brainstorm would have been a better top card than Ponder, since it gives a better chance to access Prismatic Ending. I'll counter it with Force of Will. I start drawing through the pile with the pile opener. I draw through the pile in the order of Tundra, Thassa's Oracle, Cavern of Souls. I name Wizard and win the game with Thassa's Oracle. Lastly, I have an announcement. I'm posting the concepts behind the images used in my videos, as well as small flavor-inspired stories, in the YouTube community section. Additionally, I'm selling merch for the channel through the link in the description. If you're interested, be sure to check it out. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the many play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you next time. This is Antya.